I bought my first tarot deck in Disney World, Orlando, Florida. Oh goodness, how old am I? That is the question. Many a years ago. Well over 25 years ago or so. I bought my first while on a school band trip in Florida. I played the trumpet and I went to a gift shop there where they had a tarot deck with a little palm reading book that came with it. And you better believe I purchased it and brought it home with me. Now I've been teaching tarot for about 10 years, and there are a few things that I notice folks really just sort of, if I could give some tips or say, maybe we stop looking at it this way. There's three things that I think we get a little sideways when it comes to learning tarot and starting to interpret the cards for the first time. And in this short episode, I would like to clear those up for you today. Welcome home, Enchanted Sister. I'm Sarah. Since 2016, almost 10 years now, I have been making videos like this, teaching classes, creating community, making connections for witchy women who are ready to uncover, expose the witch wound that is running through their energy system so they can mend it one bit at a time, come home to themselves, and make some magic in their lives. We know that witches create energy, we do not respond to it. And one of the tools that we can use to help us create the energy around a situation, or how we're thinking about a situation, or what we might not be seeing about a situation, is tarot. Tarot is a beloved tool around here in Sisters Enchanted Land. It is my love language and my gateway drug, if you will, into the wild world of witchery and all things energy. And that even led into my exploration of gender studies in college and looking at women's empowerment. And I just love it. And all started with this purchase of a tarot deck when I was in Florida to play trumpet. So, in teaching tarot for 10 years, there are a few things, there's a lot of things that I could talk about here today, but three in particular that I think I want to point out to you. I want to just bring to the surface and have you sit with or bring it to your attention. Three sort of patterns or things I see people do or considerations as you start to read tarot or deepen into your tarot practice, wherever you are on that journey for yourself. You can't get tarot reading wrong. So let's say that right away. No matter what, you cannot get tarot reading wrong. Sure, there are meanings attached to the cards, and those meanings are highly subjective to the person who created the deck, even the history of the tarot deck itself, and the meanings we associate with the cards is really open to the point of view that you read, that whoever has collected that information and is telling you about the history. So there are plenty of gray areas in tarot interpretation, and you really cannot get it wrong. So that's like a bonus one for you. But the first thing that I would love to invite you to consider as you start reading tarot or deepen into your tarot reading practice is to look at your tarot readings as a story, as opposed to individual meanings. When we look at tarot as a story, when we look at the cards in front of us, where the cards are looking at each other, they're acting as characters on the stage. They are weaving themes together. We have the minor arcana, which are the fine details. We've got the major arcana, which are the bigger themes. We have the court cards, which can represent energies or amplify an element or an energy of another card placement. When we put them all together, it is a story that you're reading. What I find makes a tarot reading fall pretty kind of flat, or maybe doesn't land or connect, is when we look at each card as its own thing. So we might look at the placement in a spread, and then we look up the meaning of the card, and we're just looking at it as its own entity. When a card spread in particular is working in a collective, the cards form a collective story, a collective message. And sure, with a different individual card in a different place, that changes that story, but they are still all working as an energetic collective. So shifting from interpreting one card and one card and one card to looking at your tarot readings as a unit and finding the story within them. That's a powerful shift for you to make as you embark on your tarot practice or deepen into it. Another one is looking at the cards and gendering them. So we might have the High Priestess and the Emperor, for example, and we look at them and they are pretty clearly gendered. The High Priestess or the Emperor and the Empress, that's a more clear example there. The Emperor and the Empress, and often the Empress is pregnant. The Emperor looks very authoritative. But here's the thing, when we gender the cards in our societal constructs of what it means to be male or female, masculine or feminine, we are taking away our opportunity to see the stories again within those cards. So when we look at the Empress, who is a creator, the Empress is pregnant with something, and it could be life. But when we look at that idea of life, ideas are life. All of creation, creating a business, creating a home, creating a community, creating art, that is creation. That is growing, and that is birth. And so when we really look at the cards and take them at face value without considering the themes at a higher level, in a deeper, more meaningful way. What does it mean to be a creator as opposed to what does it mean to be a pregnant lady? As we might look at the cards. And if you're new to tarot, you might not ever consider that. You might just look at it and think, oh, okay, well, this means something to do with mothering or nurturing. But we can look at that in another way and think creation. What happens with creation? And on the other side of creation is the Emperor, who's protecting that ability to create, protecting the thing that was created. And so that's genderless, right? Creating and then protecting the thing that was created. So that is my next tip for you. One was reading the cards like a story. Two, taking our societal or socialized gender constructs out of the equation when we're looking at the cards, because that really narrows down our view of what we can receive from that story when we have that in place. And then the third thing, sort of similar, kind of piggybacking this, is making the court cards be about people. So I think that when someone starts reading tarot, a sort of tendency that I notice is to look at the court cards and try to interpret them as people. So, like the Knight of Wands as a person or a type of person. And when we look at these court cards as representing energies or representing, uh, they can be places, experiences, even. They can be people, they can be experiences, places, they can be sort of like action words or descriptive words even for people. So the Knight of Wands can be, a person who is moving fast without thinking, but the Knight of Wands can also be a fiery, passionate situation. It can be an amplification of an argument. It can be a lot of things, but taking the idea that the court cards have to be people because they are depicted as people that are sort of in this court, this family, if you will, and taking that away and really looking at them as energetic experiences or sort of descriptions, right? Adjectives, if you will, that can be attached to the other cards in your story that you're putting together. So let's go through them again real quick. Your bonus tip was that you can't get tarot wrong. So just don't worry about it so much. Hold it all loosely. Give it a shot. 2, looking at individual cards and placements as opposed to looking at them as a cohesive story will really do us a disservice. I guess that was technical number 1 because the other was a bonus. The next one, gendering your cards per social standards and societal constructs, that really limits our ability to get key messages from the cards that we might not be seeing or that we might really need in our lives. And then the final thing is making the court cards be about people. The court cards do not need to be about people. The court cards can be energies. They can be sort of like those descriptive words or adjectives to go along with people, but they do not need to be people in and of themselves. All right, y'all. Well, if you want to learn more about tarot, there are tons of tarot videos on our YouTube channel and on our podcast feed. So wherever you are enjoying this today, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. You always get notified when the next one comes out. check out the past videos or podcast episodes because you're going to find a ton of tarot in there. And in the description, you'll find the link to grab our free Bad Cards of Tarot PDF, which features your favorite cards, the Devil, Death, the Three of Swords. And we have created tarot spreads around each of those cards and more to stretch you and help you look at your tarot cards and readings in a whole new way. So be sure to grab that from the description. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for being here and being part of the Sisters Enchanted community. I appreciate you more than you know. I know you have so many options out there when it comes to sharing your time with others. And I am grateful and privileged to have you sharing your time here with me right now. Until the next episode, thank you for being here and stay magic, Enchanted Sister.